Experts say they're seeing a surge in dabbing. Many people haven't heard of it. Younger pot users have. It's becoming the preferred method of getting high. It's also leading to explosions that can injure innocent people. Komo 4's Matt Markovich reports the state is debating what to do with dabbers.
Dude, it's pouring out.
On YouTube,
that did not just happen.
They're called BHO idiots.
You squish it down, make sure.
Blowing themselves up in an attempt to get high off a growing trend.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nice yield.
It's called dabbing.
Dabbing is a huge, expansive culture right now.
Dabbing is taking a concentrated extract of marijuana, often called BHO, short for butane honey oil or butane hash oil, putting it on a hot piece of metal like titanium, heating it with a blowtorch, and inhaling the vapor.
Right now in Washington, if you are mid-20s and younger, you prefer hash oils and vaporization as opposed to smoking.
The reason is simple. Inhaling a dab of BHO is typically 5 times stronger than a hit from a joint.
So on a national average, BHO is more valuable than a gram of gold.
But making it, that's getting people injured.
I'm blind! Open blasting is pretty much how things are done these days for a lot of people around America.
Several professional medical marijuana producers demonstrated the method widely available on YouTube that's causing the explosions. It's no secret. Highly flammable butane gas is poured through a canister packed with marijuana. The butane extracts marijuana's active ingredient that gets you high, THC. What's left is butane hash oil, or BHO.
What's coming out of this is the actual liquid BHO. At that point, it just needs to be boiled down into a usable product.
But to boil off the butane, it needs to be heated, creating highly flammable fumes.
This is a point where people blow themselves up because they're using maybe a heating source that has a flame to it.
Exactly.
We're using hot water in a tent outside, but the common scenario is doing it inside, in a kitchen or a garage.
The hot water heater kicks on, this gas is pooled up on the floor, and you have a contained explosion.
Police say 2 men were using flammable butane gas to extract hash oil from marijuana last
I believe
night.
the explosion was linked to butane used to extract THC from plants.
People in one apartment were using butane to pull the oil from a marijuana plant when the butane ignited.
The frequency of these explosions led FEMA to release a warning to law enforcement: expect more in the future, because the method, butane hash oil, and dabbing are all legal in Washington and Colorado.
When someone makes great dabs safely, it doesn't make the news. When one kid blows himself up, it does.
So right now we're putting $8,000 worth of marijuana in this tube.
Yes.
But the hash producers and the state are now wrestling on how to handle this surge of dabbing, which is not addressed in the new recreational pot law and the medical marijuana laws.
It's what's happening in the marketplace, so to not address it, I think would be foolishness.
Farmer Joe, as he's known, is considered one of the best BHO makers in the Northwest. He makes hash oil in a much safer way.
This is a closed loop system, so what that means is it recycles all the butane. There's no butane exposed to the atmosphere.
It's the method the state prefers.
I mean, most people would think this is nothing but a modern day still. It's got that look to it.
It kind of does, you know. I mean, it's for brewing beer and making milk.
His setup runs $5 grand. The dangerous method is just $20. But here's the real issue.
As far as 502 goes, they're going to be making it so that you cannot buy hash on the market. They want to make all hash so that it is an infused product.
Like putting it into a brownie. That's what the state wants, but it's not reality.
The reality is that dabbing has such a demand, there's such a demand for these extracts, and they're so simple to make that if you take that away, you'll instantly create a black market. So we have to find a way to safely regulate this.
By not allowing professionals like Farmer Joe selling BHO just as BHO and not in a brownie, the threat is that more people will continue to make hash oil this way. The man overseeing implementing the new recreational pot law sees changes in the future, but it's up to lawmakers in Olympia.
Liquor laws have changed every year for the last 80 years, and cannabis laws won't be any different.
$8,000 worth of marijuana into this tube makes $8,000 worth of oil.
Most admit dabbing with butane hash oil, despite the risks, is here to stay. Matt Markovich, Komo 4 News.
The state legislature is considering new standards for medical marijuana users that would be more in line with the new recreational pot law. It dramatically reduces the legal amount of BHO a person can have.